So it's a new year. Yay. New year, new you, right? Uh, I'm excited for this year and I'm excited to be sharing some of the things that we're going to be doing this month and probably next month to help everyone get going on. I don't want to say their goals because like goals are this whole idea of just pointing a direction, right? And some people don't like to set goals because they don't complete them or accomplish them. But this really is just having a direction to go. And then the habits or systems that we put in place can help us move in that direction. And we can always be super excited and hopeful if we're putting in the right habits, putting in the right system. So, um, I was out running this morning because that's one of the systems that I put in place. I remember the first time I really fell in love with running, that was in junior high. Now, some of you hate it, right? But there's probably some other habit that you formed that is like second nature to you. You love it. You do amazing at it. I know, Amelia, you probably have like some certain ways that you eat. They're just habits, second nature. If somebody else tried to eat the way you did, it would be hard to start that. But once they got into it, it could be easier. Same thing with you, Bethany, with piano and music and all that, the habits of practice and performance and all that uh, just will come easier and you become better and it moves you in a certain direction. So this class today, it's the Natural Solutions Wellness Workshop, and we're going to be focusing on getting prepared for our Breakthrough Healthy Habits Challenge. And so if you don't know who I am, I'm Stacey Paulson. For those who are live on Facebook or who are watching the replay, I've been using doTERRA products for about 14 years now. And oh, my audio is cutting out. Let's see. Chat. How is it for you, Bethany? Is my audio cutting out for you? I think what else we could do for this. Yes,
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Then I will speak loud and hopefully it won't cut out. It is, I mean, I'm hardwired into the internet, so it's not Wi-Fi. So hopefully it will be okay. But we start, these new years, and oftentimes we get super excited about where we're going. And I remember going to the gym last year around this time. I usually head into the gym when it starts getting cold. Otherwise, I'm usually running outside or doing things at home. And I remember being there and it was just packed. Like the 6 a.m., it's dark outside. The parking lot is packed clear to the back. And within a couple of weeks, not so, right? Like people had really good intentions. And I remember seeing this man who was running around this track. There's like an indoor track there. And he was very overweight and he was running. And I could tell it was super uncomfortable for him. I hadn't seen him there before. And so, it's January, new goals, gonna do this, gonna lose weight. And I remember thinking, if he continues to do this, he probably won't be back here in a couple of weeks. And the reason is that he's probably doing too much, too fast. And the point is just to start practicing the habit, and the focus is on these little things that we can do, that if we continue to do them consistently over time, that they will start getting results. Or we start habit stacking. We start with one thing, so it might be drinking more water, and then once we have that in place, then we can stack something else on it. And it's that accumulation of these little habits stacked together that creates like tremendous results, especially over time. So I was thinking about falling in love with running. Like, so for me, running is second nature. It's easy to get up, to go. I get excited. I have my AirPods in and I'm listening to something and it's really a good, exciting thing. But my brain has been wired for that. So it's not hard, right? And so that's what we want to be able to get to, a place where we have these habits in place, and that's what we're focusing on, is more of the system or the habits. If you've read Atomic Habits, there's lots of science behind this. And if we're focused there, that we will have success over time. But the goal gives us the direction, right? The goal gives us like, well, I'm doing this, I'm moving that way. And it might take longer than we expect. I always think most projects take longer and cost more than we expected, which is okay if we know that we're moving in the right direction. So let me share my screen here. And Amelia and Bethany, you're welcome to unmute anytime if you have something you want to share, or anyone on Facebook.
I can share a quick story about what you're talking about right now. I'm actually reading a book called The One Thing, and it made me feel good about what I put in place in December because I'm like, it was like preaching to the choir almost because I have an experience that supports what the book is teaching. But so I decided this Christmas I was going to wake up to a clean kitchen for maybe the first time in my life. And so I just worked really hard in December to like get that habit in place. We're going to have a clean kitchen. It's going to be like perpetually clean. And then I noticed just by focusing on that one thing, so many other things were becoming so much easier. Well, now like I want to fit into a skirt that I used to be able to wear. And cooking healthy food is easy. My fridge is clean and stocked with produce. Like that was part of my get the kitchen set, right? And it was like, and now people are having like good quality conversations in the kitchen, and my kids are all cooking, and I'm like, look at all of the benefits just because I wanted to have a clean kitchen on Christmas morning. And
That's
so we're
awesome.
just keeping up with that, and it's like having this domino effect, and that's what this book talks about. It's like there will be a domino effect when you set in motion a little bit of discipline, that a bunch of other things will start to line up. So
That's
it's
awesome.
been fun to watch that.
Demonstrates perfectly like that whole concept. And so
Yeah.
sometimes we start too big, right? But you just focusing in on the one thing, like get it clean, keep it clean, get the habit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would have thought
Exactly.
like we're gonna get the kids to cook and have all this and all of it all, like, it would have been like, okay,
Yeah,
maybe today.
never.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So for those who are new to doTERRA, let me share my screen. We'll go through some of these challenges that people are facing. And so you can kind of be thinking, what direction do I want to be moving in? What's the goal? And I also love thinking of goals as more an experiment, right? That we're just going to test it out. We're going to give it a try. Like I want to be here, and here's my plan that I'm going to put in place. And it's an experiment. There's going to be ups and downs. As a runner, whenever we do races, we always plan for what could go wrong so that when it does go wrong, we're not surprised. We're not like, oh, I have to stop. I have to quit. You already have a plan in place. Okay, when I get a side ache, this is how I'm going to handle it. I've already pre-decided. And so that's something that can be helpful as well. So for those who are wanting to set like health goals, you're wanting to move in certain direction, or it's either like you're moving towards pleasure or you're moving away from some type of pain. So these give you an idea of some of the different types of pain that many people are struggling with. I don't know about you guys, but in our house over the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of sickness that's gone on, and like it's been worse than COVID, like as far as how long it's lasting and how annoying it is, those kind of things. So that's been one of our pains that we're wanting to move away from, and we've had tools in place to do that. I've seen other people who haven't had tools in place that are dealing way worse with it, right? So be thinking about what is it that you're wanting to create for, and we say 2024, but I really think like, okay, yes, you have the big long-term goal. I want to be at this weight, or I want to be into that skirt, or I want to have XYZ done in 2024. But I really love that whole idea of 90 days because that's really more of the time frame that it takes to be consistent with those habits. So we can really just work things out for a week or 2 weeks, 21 days. They say, you form a habit in 21 days, but then that's been debunked that it depends on what the habit is. But 90 days for your health is an ideal time frame. And the reason why is because every single blood cell in your body will have turned over, meaning all of your blood cells from day one on day 90 will be brand new blood cells. So if you're doing things for your health in any of these aspects or some other type of aspect, that you will start seeing more of those results later on because your blood is different. The nutrients that you're bringing in are now getting to different cells in your body. Okay. So just kind of want to be thinking about that. So be having in mind what are the things you want to deal less with. If you're watching the replay or in Facebook, if you're on there, you can just put what it is that you want to be working on. And what we advocate for is that we are moving towards root causes, because if we can get at the root cause, then those symptoms will go away or they'll be minimized. So I was on the phone today with an awesome lady who reached out to me. So I do YouTube videos, and I did one on like diffusers and essential oils, and her and her husband have had some health challenges. And one of those, she's like said in 2022, like early 2023, there was a lot of emotional and challenging times going on in her life. And she was going in for a health check, and she told the doctor, she's like, I know my blood work's not going to be good. Like I already know this because of how I've been eating, how I've been treating my body, but I know why, and I also know how to fix it. So the blood work came back, and yeah, she was out of range with a lot of her metabolic health things, right? With blood sugar levels and things like that. And the doctor right then was like, well, I want to put you on medication. She's like, well, here's the deal. I know the cause of my dysregulation, right? Like, why am I out of balance? I know the cause of that. And I also know how to fix it. Like, the root cause is that I haven't been eating very well. I haven't been exercising. I haven't been resting. Like, she knew the cause of this. And she's like, just give me 90 days, right? Let me work on this. I'll come back in for blood work. And if it's still high, then I might consider. And so she did. She went to work and she got to the root cause and started seeing those numbers come down. She was also having challenges with her hair. So she was having challenges with hair loss. And the doctors wanted to put her on these different medications, which had some crazy side effects for the hair loss. Well, she tested her blood and found that she was deficient in vitamin D. And so there was a more naturopathic doctor that said, hey, why don't you just try to get up your vitamin D levels? Because that could be what's contributing to the hair loss, right? And so the natural approach is trying to figure out what those underlying root causes are. And sometimes we don't know what they are, but we're going to talk about some of the things that we can put in place to create those foundational pieces that oftentimes get rid of those things, and we didn't even know that that was the cause of it, right? But modern medicine really is focused on symptom management. It's not healthcare, it's sick care. You go into a doctor is not because you're trying to stay healthy, you're going in because you have a problem, you're sick, you're damaged in some way, right? And the only options that they have that they're trained for in traditional medicine is to give you medicine or some type of surgery, right? Or go home, rest, wait it out, because there's nothing that they can do. But we do have options. And so that's what this class is about. And then we'll be talking about kind of the healthy habits that we want to put in place and some of the tools that you can use to do that. The foundational pieces for this are nutrition and digestion. And I actually want to put it at, like, there's even a greater foundation below that is our belief system and the things that we're thinking. Because if we don't believe that nutrition has an impact on us, then we're going to go out and eat those Twinkies, right? Just because we like them, right? So foundationally, we have to kind of back up and address maybe some of our beliefs, maybe some of the beliefs that I can't do certain things with my health. That was something that I discovered a couple of years ago because I started developing neuropathy in my foot. And I was training for a marathon. I'm like, what's the deal? Like, I'm eating well, I'm doing these things. Why am I having these problems? And I went to several different doctors, specialists, and they were like, their thing was like, you're just going to have to deal with it. Like, you need to stop running because you're going to make it worse. And I had a choice at that point was, am I going to believe what they have to say and choose that route? Or am I going to be open to maybe a different possibility? Is it possible that that's not true, that there is a solution out there and I just haven't found it? And I'm glad that I chose to believe something different than the doctors told me. And what I found is that the things they were telling me not to do were the things that were actually helping me to get better, right? That it was changing the nutrition a little bit, tweaking that, seeing where I had some deficiency, also continuing. What I found is continuing my running, even though at first it was painful, that our bodies create natural painkillers. And so then I got to a point where I'm running and it's totally pain-free. But had I just believed what they said, I would have never discovered those things. So even below that, I really want to put into that, that there is a belief, a foundational piece below that, that impacts all of these different aspects of our health. But nutrition, digestion is getting the nutrients in our bodies, but also absorbing them, being able to break down them and absorb them. That's digestion. And then moving on up, right? We have our movement, that exercise, metabolism, that's being able to utilize and change those nutrients that we absorb into a form that our bodies will utilize in different aspects of our body. And then it kind of moves up from there. So these are the foundational pieces that if we focus on and we know like, okay, I've got these pieces in place. And then if we still have some issues, then maybe that's when you want to turn to traditional healthcare or other alternatives, right? But lifestyle choices make such a huge, huge impact. But that's not traditional US healthcare system, well, sick care system. Um, Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of Gary Brecka. He is a human biologist. He is a researcher. He's been a mortality researcher for 22 years with life insurance. And so he was put in charge, or he was charged with predicting life expectancy to the month. So life insurance companies, they have all of this data on us, and that's how they run their business model, is that they need to be able to predict this so that they know what to charge you, so that if you're like high risk, your premiums are going to be a lot more. And so they have all of this data. And so I just wanted to watch this. Let me see if I click on it. Nope. I might have to go out of this and share with you. I might not be able to share with you on this because I didn't set it up right. But I will just tell you what he was talking about. Is that the research that he was coming up with, like I said, could predict to the month, according to the information that they have on patients, when they would pass away, right? Or what type of ailments they're going to be expecting to come down with. And in fact, he said he got so tired of it because you can't reach out to them, totally against the law. But he could see like there would be people who are being prescribed different medications, and they would counter each other, and knew that that was like they were walking into death from that, and could not say a thing. But also knew he knows the things that also can help change that. And it's not what we're doing with traditional American healthcare, sick care. We're not lacking in a pharmaceutical drug. We're not lacking in certain prescriptions. That's not what our bodies are lacking. But he talks about the main thing that we're lacking and that will change things for most people is our nutrition. And let me get to the right screen. So most people are nutrient deficient, and that because they've been nutrient deficient over time, our bodies develop disease. So I don't know if you knew this, but most people are deficient in vitamin D. And so being deficient in vitamin D can cause like hair loss, right? If you're experiencing that as you're aging, it can cause depression. So you might think you have a mental health challenge. Maybe a therapist thinks you have a challenge, and you're put on a prescription, when in reality, all you have is a deficiency in vitamin D. And if you're raising that level, that you'll start seeing those things go away. Think about that, 95% of people, that if they just took extra vitamin D, and you can see the other ones, vitamin E, magnesium, vitamin A, calcium, vitamin C, are just very common nutrient deficiencies, that if we're able to address those, that a lot of the things that we're dealing with, the stress issues, sleep issues, emotions, immune system challenges, pain, inflammation, those things start going away. So that's one of the challenges that we're dealing with, is these nutrient deficiencies. We're also dealing with, and I don't know why it says number 3, but be number 2, toxic load. So another thing that is a challenge, and this is something that came in with my neuropathy and I was not aware of, is the toxins that I was being exposed to. So we get exposed to a lot of toxins that actually the air inside of our home is way more contaminated than the pollution air outside. And then thinking about the Product Safety Commission, they tested over 150 cleaning chemicals that were linked to ADD, asthma, cancer, reproductive problems, respiratory problems, and a lot of other things. And it only takes 26 seconds for you to spray those chemical cleaners and for your body to absorb that into your bloodstream, and it goes to every single organ in your body. So like being aware of those things, and I don't know if you knew this, but women who work in their home, which I do, and a lot of women work in their home, whether it's a job or with kids or some other aspect, they're 54% at a 54% higher risk of developing cancer than women who work outside of the home. So these are just some things to be aware of when we're looking at what are my goals, where am I wanting to move to, and if there's certain things that I'm trying to get away from, like those pains and physical health challenges or emotional health challenges, that we might want to first focus on the foundations. Hold on, my daughter has a question. She's like, read my note I read to you. I'm making it. I need your phone. She's gonna take my phone. Okay.
Thank you.
She's making a movie. So those two things, be thinking about this: nutritional deficiencies. Am I getting the nutrients that I need? Am I able to digest those things? Am I being exposed to, or have I been exposed to in the past, toxins that might be one of the root causes of this? So a lot of people will then start supplementing. They start understanding and recognizing that they need these nutrients. It's really hard to get nutrients in our food. Our food supply is depleted of nutrients. You would have to eat a lot more food than you are now to get the nutrients that you need, that our ancestors got like 75 years ago. And we're not really lacking in the calorie deficiency department, right, with obesity and all that. But it's the nutrients that we're lacking. But even for those who are trying to supplement, it's challenging because of what's in our supplements. So for those who are watching the replay, I know Amelia and Bethany, you both use supplements, and but it's hard to know if they're doing anything. And this was a study from the FDA that they, from 2007 to 2016, that they detected contaminants in 776 dietary supplements produced by 146 companies. And I bet if they redid that, it would probably be worse, because you think a lot of people are just buying their stuff off of Amazon. It's coming straight from China and not knowing even what's in it, right? And the three leading memory supplements, two of them didn't even contain the active ingredient that was listed on the label. So the solution is to supplement, but it's also hard to get the supplements, right, that will actually work. And that's where doTERRA came in with their number one product, which is not even an essential oil, but is their lifelong vitality supplements, which once you start using these, and this was my experience with them. So back 14 and a half years ago, it's probably more like 15 years ago, I was struggling with health challenges, with low mood, chronic sinus infections. I just was on and off of antibiotics for over a year, could not get rid of those things. I was dealing with chronic migraines and had been put on medication, and it just wasn't getting any better. And so I just really felt stuck. I don't know if any of you have felt stuck in your health and you're like, well, this is just how it's going to be. And I learned about these supplements, and there was a 30-day money back guarantee. And that's the reason why I gave them a try, as I learned more about like the science behind them, because my body was nutrient deficiency. And really within a couple of months, it's probably like 45 days or so, the sinus infections were gone. My immune system was kicking in, was able to beat that without some type of antibiotic. And my energy levels were back. My migraines have been gone. Here and there I might get a headache, but not the migraines. And it really is, once you give your body what it needs, it knows how to function, right? I don't know if Amelia or Bethany, if you want to share your experience with these, you're welcome to. Don't feel you have to, but.
I always love to talk about lifelong vitality. And my experience is maybe not as dramatic as Stacy's. Like, I wouldn't have ever said I suffered from depression, but I wasn't as cheerful as I am now. And it's just so easy. Like, my life is better now, a decade later, a decade older. I can say I feel better now all the time than I did in my 30s. And I've got 6 kids and plenty of responsibilities, and but the lifelong vitality really does what it says it does. Like, I I'm the last person to get sick. I used to have chronic headaches, and I almost never have a headache, even when my sleep patterns are erratic. It's helped me just with monthly cycle, like, balance, with energy and mood and all of that. So I won't go off it. And now I really, really wish, because during my last pregnancy, I could have been on it, and I was just a little bit, I don't know, finicky about what I would eat. And my appetite was weird. And so I stayed away from the vitamins, and it would have been so much smarter for me to stay on them. So I would recommend them to anybody for prenatal, nursing, like everything. You're just going to feel so much better. You know,
Yeah.
I could probably have more children now and feel better than I did through all of my pregnancies. But I don't know if my body's
Yeah.
really up for that.
Yeah. You're like,
So
oh, I'm like tired of that. After six, that's good. Same here
right.
for me because my last two were like lifelong vitality babies. And I tell you, I
Yeah.
felt more energy. I was running, pregnant. I was up, active. I started my doTERRA business like with these two little rugrats, right? Like it was, yeah, it gives you a lot more energy and you just feel more capable of doing so much more. Not that things don't come
Mhm.
up, right? Like things will still come up, but knowing you have those foundation, that foundation of, okay, even if I didn't eat awesome today, I still know I took the lifelong vitality, I'm getting those nutrients. Yeah. All right. So let me share my screen. So just love those. And that is something that is implemented into our healthy habits challenge. Um, some of the other people's experiences, you mentioned postpartum, but this lady with postpartum depression, right? That it was helpful for that. Exhaustion and over unmotivated. So helped alleviate that. Didn't feel depressed anymore. Helped with sleep, energy, digestion, mood, pain level. These are all super common ones, like people that are using them. This was my friend Sophie who had an inflammatory response to antibiotics that she had been prescribed and could not get rid of this rash. It was all over her body. And that's when she had asked, do you have anything that might help this? And I didn't know, like I was newer to doTERRA and using some of the things, but like it's possible, maybe this. And so she started using Lifelong Vitality and using some of the oils topically. And she, like within a couple of days, she could tell the inflammation was going down. And then it all, completely went away. But how amazing that just giving your body nutrients and things that it needs, it knows how to function. So I love that. And then this was a 60-day trial that was done. So I like the science piece of it as well, not just people's experiences with it. Um, and so this was, people didn't change their diet or exercise or anything like that. They just started taking the Lifelong Vitality and then had blood work done before and then after. And this is some of the statistically significant improvements that they had with blood lipids, fasting insulin, cardiovascular markers. I really love this overall improvement with mental clarity, energy, motivation, control, balance, happiness. And I think we're really in a pandemic of many of those things, right? And I think kind of going back to the vitamin D deficiency and thinking through the pandemic that we went through and so many people being indoors. And the only place that we really can get vitamin D if we're not supplementing is being exposed in the middle of the day to the sun, that our bodies will synthesize vitamin D. And so many of us, including myself, weren't getting that and still like don't get that in the winter. And so being able to supplement and see the impact that it has on our mental health is pretty incredible. And then the other thing to be thinking about with this, and that is incorporated into this healthy habits challenge, is that making sure that we're able to not just get nutrients into our body, but we're able to break down those nutrients. And we do that with digestive enzymes. As we age, we produce less and less of those digestive enzymes. So our food actually isn't getting broken down and absorbed and utilized. So even if you are eating healthier, um, but you're growing older, you're producing less digestive enzymes. So Terrazyme is doTERRA's digestive enzyme. Totally love this. It's something you just take with meals. It can help break down the food so that you can absorb that, so your body can like put it where it needs to go. And then PB Restore is a prebiotic, probiotic. It's time release capsule. If you're not familiar with probiotics, there's a huge push for people to start like recognizing we have this population, we have this universe in our gut that is our like microflora. It's good bacteria that our bodies need in order to synthesize different vitamins like vitamin K, that's done by some microbes that are living in our gut. And so if you've taken antibiotics, or if the pH of your body is very acidic, meaning you eat processed foods a lot, sugar, caffeine, if you're eating those types of foods, it makes your whole entire body more acidic, and it makes it less conducive for that a healthy um, gut flora to really flourish and help you. And so being able to repopulate that in a way, so there's a prebiotic, meaning there is a capsule that protects the probiotic. And so that gets released in the stomach where there's a lot of really harsh acid. And you don't want the probiotic being kind of ruined in the stomach. And so that's protected so that the probiotic can get down into your gut. And so people who are using the PB Assist, they've experienced changes in their mental health, more energy. They feel more mental clarity, not just digestive support, right? So that's just something to think about. Implementing. This was Brianne, and her acne cleared up as she was taking the PB Assist and the Terrazyme. I mean, isn't that crazy? Like, just give your body a few things instead of like putting on some chemicals and stuff that oftentimes dermatologists will do. And then you see Teresa cleared up digestive issues, then also let go of a lot of weight and inches just by clearing up the gut issues that she was dealing with. So those are really important. Like, be thinking about nutrients, digestion. Oftentimes when we're thinking of health or resolutions, we're like, I'm going to go exercise. And we kind of start up the chain here, or I'm going to change like all that I eat. And that can be really hard as well. That might not be a little baby step. Changing how you eat can be super hard. There's lots of psychology that goes behind that, and neurotransmitters that have been created within our brain of certain way that we eat, and we get, dopamine hits from different foods. And so what I love about utilizing lifelong vitality is that you start taking a supplement that's really easy, right? You're just taking it with your food. You're not necessarily changing any other habits. You're not fighting off like those cravings for certain things, but over time, because you start feeling better, you have more energy, you have less pain, you then start making better choices in the things that you're eating. So it's kind of like that habit stacking. Start with getting nutrients in your body, you're digesting them, you're utilizing them, you're feeling better, and then you start making healthier choices. You have more energy, so you want to exercise more. You're looking better, you're feeling better, you're thinking better, you're more clear. You're sleeping better, and all of those things just start to compound because you were focusing on those foundational pieces. So any things to add there before we kind of dive into some of the essential oils that we're wanting to utilize as we move into this kind of healthy habits challenge?
I just want to say amen to what you just said. I was looking at that pyramid earlier and thinking, is this really the order that I would teach it in? And the truth is, that is what worked for me. When I started with the supplements, I didn't try to make massive changes to my diet. I was already, a mixture of healthy and standard American diet. Um, but starting with the lifelong vitality eventually helped me put a lot of other things in place because I did feel so much better and I just felt empowered to make other changes. So I just think it's really important to be like, okay, if you were going to do one thing, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll see what else you're able to do after you've got that in place for a good 90 days, right?
Yeah, and that's so many people's experience, because oftentimes when you are in pain, whether that's physical or emotional type pain, it's hard to make the changes, right? Like, yes, you can like stick it out for a little bit, but you're going to fall back and you're setting yourself up for failure. And so that's why so often people don't want to set goals, is because like, I've tried it, I've tried it, I've tried it. And so that's where like just this little thing, getting the nutrients, so we just naturally have more energy, more mental focus, clarity, we feel better, the inflammation is going down. We naturally will want to move more. We naturally will make some better choices, right? And there's some other products that will help with that. We'll talk about those. But super powerful when we can kind of break it down in that way. So let's skip to some of the essential oils. And for those who are new, like if you're in the Facebook group and you're not super familiar with essential oils, this is not like a marketing thing. that doTERRA oils are amazing. So this was a study done by Roseman University, which doTERRA did not know that they were doing this, but they took some of the top essential oil brands and they were studying them to see if they actually did anything right. Is this just kind of voodoo medicine, just something that everyone's kind of jumping on, right? And what they found, and they came to doTERRA and gave them the research, and they said that they found that doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation. And that's really the foundation of our health, like our bodies being able to have cellular repair when there's damage, and also to rejuvenate themselves. Like that is life, that is living, that is continuing living healthy, is when we're able to do that. Metabolic health, and that is being able to transform all of those nutrients that we're getting and create the different chemicals that our bodies need for different things, processes, right? So the food that comes into our mouth, the nutrients that come in, that's not the form that they take when they go into different areas of your body. Our body, through our metabolic health, will transform those. And so essential oils are helping your body to do that. And then also a healthy inflammatory response. Pain is established through inflammation. So if we have chronic inflammation, we're going to have chronic pain. And so it helps to reduce the inflammation, but have like a healthy response when it needs to be inflamed and when it should not be inflamed. So this is what doTERRA oils were doing. Instead, essential oils from different competitors had minimal effects. Not coming from doTERRA. This is from unbiased Roseman University of Health Sciences. This is what they found, right? Because most essential oils on the market have synthetic markers. So it was found, there's a recent study that showed it was like 80 to 90% had synthetic markers, meaning they're not natural. They don't come from plants. They were made in a laboratory. And because they're made in a laboratory, they don't have the medicinal properties that are found in the essential oils that naturally occur for plants. Like those essential oils help protect the plant, help to the plant to heal and to grow and to thrive. And so when we consume those and use those, that's what our body recognizes, those things, and how to use and utilize those for good. So there is a difference with doTERRA. No fillers, no synthetics, all of that. They go through 54 different tests to ensure that they're not just pure, but they're also potent, because you can get a pure oil that's not very potent. It's not going to do much for you. So that combination is really important. With doTERRA oils, that they're safe to use. You're not going to have these kind of challenges like these two girls had with lavender. It was a different brand, it was put on their chest, caused chemical burns. And so you're not going to experience anything like that with doTERRA. And so you can use most of them 3 different ways: aromatically, so that's breathing them in; topically, that'd be putting them on; and then internally. There are some that we don't use internally, but each bottle of doTERRA oils will have a supplement fact label, and it will tell you if you can use it internally. So they're also super affordable, as they're just pennies per dose. So I remember my old way of dealing with ear infections with my kids was I would take them to the doctor. If I decided to go, we'd kind of wait it out and they would be in pain, and I'd be doping them up with like Tylenol or something. And so our new way is that we don't have to go to the doctor. I don't have to wait there. I don't have to get a prescription, an antibiotic, pay a copay or anything like that. I just use lavender and tea tree oil, and I will put it on the back of the ear, put it on a cotton ball, put it, in the ear. You don't put drops straight in your ear. You don't put them in your eyes either. But they're 50 to 70 times more potent than herbs. And so that small amount, less than $1, usually within 24, 48 hours, that ear infection is gone, saves me an incredible amount of not just money, but time. For me, time is something I can't get back. I can earn money back. I can't earn time back. So it's precious. And then they're effective. Not only are they antimicrobial, antifungal, but many of them are antiviral, and they stop the replication of viruses. So the top essential oil that doTERRA has is called On Guard. It's a protective blend. And this oil has been shown to help inhibit the replication of viruses. And so if you're exposed to people who have been sick, some kind of pathogen, it's something that you can start using and consuming to help support your immune system, because you're slowing down that replication of the virus so that your immune system can kick in and do its job, right? So some of the common oils, and I'm just going to be showing you the things that are in. It's called the Healthy Habits Kit. And I'm recommending that everyone get one of these kits if you're wanting to do the Healthy Habits Challenge with us. Or if you have parts of these, you might be missing something, you can just put on your order whatever you're missing. But Deep Blue Rub. So this is a lotion, but it has a 5 milliliter bottle of deep blue oil in it. And so this is something that you can put on if you need soothing, the back, the joints, the muscles, bruises, growing pains. You can see the list there. There are like professional football teams, athletes who use this is in their locker room. Their trainers are using this because they know it's not harmful, doesn't have the side effects that other things do have, and it works really, really well. So this is a great one to have on hand, because if we're trying to implement new healthy habits, and maybe you do start exercising and you're sore, or you don't exercise or move your body as much because you're in pain, right? So this is something that can help with that. A couple of other ones are for sleep and mood. So you're thinking on that pyramid. Deep blue would be the one that's helping with movement and maybe some reasons why we're not moving if we have some of that pain or inflammation. Another challenge that we have is with our sleep and with stress. Did you know that most ER visits are caused by some type of stress? That if we could reduce the amount of stress we have, there'd be less ER visits. So lavender and balance are both great for stress. Lavender is kind of our go-to if you're wanting something to calm your brain, to be able to sleep. It calms emotions. It also calms anything like on your body. So if you have like a rash or something, it can help calm that, soothe that. So just think all things calming. And then the balance is very grounding. So it helps, especially if we have like those emotional highs or we have those super lows, it helps us kind of just stay grounded. And so that's something that's really important to have, because like if we're thinking about our health, our emotional health impacts our physical health. If we don't feel good emotionally, oftentimes we will resort to things that are unhealthy for us, whether that's food, whether that's, other forms of dopamine hits, right? That often comes in play. But if we're feeling good and confident and feeling grounded and balanced, that oftentimes we will make better healthy decisions. And then we have in this kit is On Guard and frankincense. So these can both be great for immune support. On Guard, like I said, is the #1 essential oil that doTERRA has. So the #1 product is Lifelong Vitality. #2 product is this On Guard blend. So like I know wintertime, lots of stuff going on here. If you're on the southern hemisphere, maybe not, I don't know. But this is one that you can diffuse. You can put a couple of drops in water and drink it. You can put it on topically. So I actually have this roller blend that I mix together with some different oils, On Guard being one of them. And so we had some throat things going on, and just be able to roll it on your throat. A lot of gargling and spitting it out in the past few weeks for us, and it works really, really well. And then frankincense is very amazing at cellular rejuvenation. So again, thinking foundational health is helping our cells to function optimally. Frankincense has been shown to support 3 different things that cells do. Cells should be able to repair themselves. If they're not, then they should self-destruct and create new ones. So if cells are not doing that and they kind of go haywire, which sometimes they do, and people who have like cells that are going haywire and growing, that frankincense has been shown to help with the rejuvenation of those cells and whatever the cell's specialty is. So if it's a skin cell, it's doing that skin cell thing. So it will really help with scarring and any kind of tissue damage and kind of just cellular damage. But then also, it's been shown to have this triggering effect where it causes what's called apoptosis, and that's the self-destruction of the cell. So when you have things like cancer, there's not that apoptosis, it's just mutating, right? And so frankincense has been shown to help cause that apoptosis when the cell's life is over and it should die off and new ones to regenerate. So really, really powerful essential oils there. And then the last ones that come in the Healthy Habits kit that we would just recommend people having on hand: peppermint, great for energy focus. If you have hot flashes, if it's, that time of life, or if fevers, right? That's something that we've been using because a couple of family members had fevers, and it's something that we use now instead of your Tylenol and those kind of things, that we've just found this has been more effective without the side effects. no toxic worries there. Headaches, you can put it on your temples. You can put some in water and drink it. Just breathe it from the bottle. My daughter-in-law who's pregnant, I just saw her do a TikTok on this. She's like, peppermint is my friend. It's amazing for nauseousness. I'm driving to Vegas and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what do? You can't just stop for the whole time you're nauseous because you're always nauseous. And she's just breathing that. She's like, oh, it takes it away. And my headaches, it just takes them away. So that was really fun to see. Lavender, and that it's safe, right? That we don't have those fears. Like Bethany was saying, like when she's pregnant, like you're just kind of concerned. Like I might not care about my body as much as I do that baby that's developing. So we might eat things and do things that we won't when we are pregnant because we just love that little baby that's being formed. But safe for all ages and stages of life. Again, lavender, a great one. Tangerine is an oil that comes in the Healthy Habits kit. But I would just say a citrus oil. So if you already have oils, you just want to make sure that you have a citrus oil on hand. Citrus oils help to detoxify our bodies, just naturally get rid of some of those like petrochemicals and different toxins that we're exposed to in a gentle way. And they're also mood boosting. So they will elevate your mood. And we make so many more better decisions when we feel good. So those are the basics that are in, it's called the Healthy Habits Kit. And here's just kind of a graphic showing you how all of those products help on different levels of this wellness pyramid. So the Lifelong Vitality, PB Assist Terrazyme help with the nutrition and digestion. We have the Deep Blue Rub, which is great for the movement. We do have another product, which I didn't talk about, is MetaPower Advantage, which helps with metabolism. And then we have the Balance in Lavender that's great for rest and sleep, and the Tangerine for reducing your toxicity, and then helping with like the self-care, informed care, so we can stay out of the doctor as much as possible with the frankincense and On Guard. And so that is for people who are getting started. We recommend starting with that kit and also getting some type of book or app. So there's the Essential Life book, but we just really use the app a lot. And so it's like a $5 app, and then you can just look up whatever you need to look up. You have a bottle of Balance, you're like, I can't remember what to do with this. You can look that up, or, oh, I've got this canker sore. I wonder if I have an oil for it. And you can just look it up. You also, if the order is 150 PV, it's product value, and it's not this diffuser, you're actually going to get a free, what's this called again? Bubble diffuser. So let me show you this, super cool. Isn't that fun? So it's censored, so it'll like poof that out, and then it just stays off until it sees like the movement, right? And so this is great that you can get for free with 150 PV. So I added on here this peppermint. So if you got the Healthy Habits kit and added on peppermint, it would be 150 PV, and you'd get the diffuser for free. And so what we are doing, we'll get the dates out to you. Just make sure that you're in our Facebook group, the Wellness Collective, because we'll be announcing when we're doing our Healthy Habits Breakthrough Challenge. And I'm hoping that Bethany will help with some of the coaching, like mindset coaching on this, because it's not just like, okay, I'm going to do this, because you're going to have a lot of like things in your head that come up that help kind of prevent you from reaching your goals. And so there's things that you can do foundationally to help set yourself up for success, to kind of end some of the patterns that we might fall into. And this might be like, hey, I've tried this diet and this diet, or I've tried this and I tried this, and it just hasn't worked for me. There's either something wrong with me, or I don't know why, I just don't get results. So I don't set goals. So I just like feel a little bit helpless. And so not only are we going to have like the habits that we want you implementing and a tracker and some accountability, but then also helping with that mindset piece to break some of those old patterns that may have formed, and how we can really switch those and change it up so that you can have your breakthrough and build those habits in place, habit stack, to be able to reach your goals. Any questions or any other things you want to share? I'm just trying to see if there's anything in the Facebook group. I don't see any questions there. Oh, and then also, if you're watching this and you haven't, if you're brand new, you're not a member of doTERRA, you don't have a doTERRA membership, doTERRA is also doing a promotion for you, as well as anyone who hasn't ordered in over a year. So maybe you have a doTERRA account, but you haven't ordered in over a year. they are giving you this special deal, which for the new members, you will get, it's called and also returning members, you're going to get the 100, 100 PV, it's like a product credit. It's $100 essential oil product credit if you get started in January with at least 100 PV. So if you got the Healthy Habits kit or something else, the equivalent was 100 product value PV. Then order next month 100 PV. So you might be stocking up on other things, or if you're using Lifelong Vitality and you love it, you'll be ordering that and whatever else you want. Then in March, they're going to give you a product credit right into your account of 100 points. So then you can use that to redeem for whatever you want. And there's lots of other products, lots of other essential oils. There's skincare, hair care. There's other nutritional things like with greens and fiber and protein. There's just so many other products, deodorant. So it might be swapping out some of the toxic things that you have around your house as you're getting rid of those. You're swapping them with cleaner products that you can redeem products with those product credits. And let me see, anything else? So that is for either new or returning customers. And then also for those who are returning, there is generally a $25 what's it called when you renew your membership. So there's like a renewal fee of $25 and then they send you a free peppermint. Well, what happens is when you renew, you'll pay the $25. They'll send you the free peppermint, but then they're also going to, within 10 days, they will refund you that $25. So basically you're getting a free peppermint and a free renewal, and you can take advantage of those $100 product credits. So there's a lot of good things there for those who are already members of doTERRA. And if you want to order anything, we just recommend doing it through the Loyalty Rewards program, because you'll get the 25% off. That's your doTERRA membership price is 25% below the retail price, but you also get product credits when you do order. So you're building up your little doTERRA bank account. So I still have, every time I go into my account and show people, I'm like, here's how you do this. And I think I have like 550 points now still. I need to redeem them. But I just got a big box of other stuff. So I don't know. It's just so much fun. So just want you to be aware of that. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to the person who is invited you, or your wellness advocate who's helping you with oils, and they can help you get started. And just make sure that you're in the Facebook group and pay attention to the things going on there, because we will announce when the Healthy Habits Challenge is going to begin and how to get started and connected with that. Any questions or things to share before we hop off? Anyone? Okay, well then, it was nice seeing you, Amelia and Bethany, and anybody on the replay. Okay, have a good night.
Thank you.
Later.